Hey man, say man, it's your boy Zay man. This is the first episode of the Business Podcast, and today we have a very special guest. My first guest at that, Delonte Hood. What's going on with you, bro?
What's good, man? How you?
Chilling, man. So today I want to get into his story, y'all. He has a very unique story that I think a lot of people will gravitate to. I don't think you ever really dug into the story as much. And first and foremost, where did I meet you at, bro?
We went to the same high school in Dunbar. We probably met like 10th or 11th grade.
Yeah. So how was I in high school? Like, explain to people how was I in high school? Like,
so I knew you as a person, always being funny. Whether it was just jokes or just doing anything, being you
right.
for real. Just So I know every time you came around, I was prepared to laugh.
Right.
It was fun for real.
So, one thing I noticed about you in school, like you was very off to yourself, quiet, really speaking when spoken to, like type of off vibe. So that's why I always made sure, like, even other than you, when I'm around somebody, I always try to like bring like good energy, make people laugh, jokes, stuff like that. So I didn't know your story back then. A lot of people didn't. I don't think a lot of people didn't, but that's why it's very important to watch how you treat people and talk to people, because you never know what somebody going through behind closed doors. So let's get into it, man. So before we get to that part, we're gonna take our time. Let's get to know who Delonte is. So how was you growing up, man? How was it growing up? What was your environment like?
So as far as like what though, like just
like
just living or just
like so as a kid, what was your childhood?
So as a kid, I mean, first of all, I'll start there. I don't know my dad. Just starting to hear a little about him. Coming around, but I don't. I still don't know my dad. I never knew him. It's always kind of been me and my mom until my my stepdad came around when I was like 5, 6, and just I feel like we was was always kind of poor even before just as a kid, but you don't really kind of understand that until you get a little older.
Right.
So, but I still feel like I was just being a kid, like
So like the average childhood, but at that time you didn't know what was actually going on.
Yeah, so it's like but once I kind of like talk to my mom more, growing up and just realize certain things you can't, like not being able to have certain things you see other kids with, and just wondering like, dang, like kind of not fair. But once you start to get older, you kind of realize like, oh yeah,
you start to understand, your understanding start opening.
Just the real predicament, you know what I'm saying? So,
right, man, your story is very unique, bro, and it's crazy because every time like I see you post, I get chills and I just get happy, bro. You don't understand how happy I get for you and the things that you have accomplished, bro. Knowing where you came from and to where you are now and where you going, bro. Like, it's all about dedication, bro. Discipline. And I'll never forget, bro, when we was walking in the hallways and I was messing with you one day because you was playing football. And I'm like, man, you about to go to college, man. You ain't gonna stop. You like, man, I got places to go, things to do. I'll never forget that, bro. Like I commented out of your post a lot too. I will never forget that, bro. And I use that in my life in a way because that just like you don't understand, like just those little things. My mind works different because just that little quote, man, is gonna resonate with me for a long time. Because I got places to go, things to do. Like I can't just be sitting around, man.
Can't do the average thing.
Your situation, even though your situation is what it was, you can't just sit around like. Then like, that quote itself it can go very deep,
very very deep, and
a lot of meanings, and definitely in your story because like, it could mean like, man, I'm not about to sit around and let somebody just start over me. I'm gonna go get it. You know what I mean? Because I got stuff I need to do. I got people I need to show my talents to.
Exactly.
So let's get into the football thing, man. When did you first start playing football?
I first started playing football when I was 5, 6. For Watkins Hornets. If a lot of people might be familiar with that name that's from here, and I was basically brought into that.
Was it a natural, like, was football? Was it like a natural thing, a talent? Or
so before that, I was kind of like into like the martial arts thing, But I feel like I kind of gravitated to football for real. Like once I actually got on the field, you know, I just like running around for real. And then it turned, I actually wanted to go to practice every day and getting away from the space at home and, you know, at the time.
So football became an outlet that you felt.
Even as a kid, like it was an outlet, and it just became fun. Like, and I still to this day, I just have fun playing. Like, I just recommend to anybody like that's, you know, want to become successful or anything. Like, make sure it's fun. Like, make sure it's something you want to do. Like,
you gotta enjoy it.
You gotta enjoy it. That's how you able to become dedicated to it. And that's how you able to become disciplined and consistent with it, because you already love it. So that's like half the battle.
Right.
So since a kid, I just, you know, always love, you know, going to the field, even like being early, like hella early, just out there before practice. So that's kind of when I started.
And that's where the dedication come in there and the love for it. And like you said, that was your escape from the let's say the reality of what you was actually
what I was going through. And then, you know, I think, you know, I still remember as a kid just me telling my mom like you know, football basically going, you know, help us. You know,
right.
Like I'm gonna be able to get you this and this and this, and like, you know how kids is. So I just remember that them conversations.
So let's direct the conversation to Mom Dukes, because I know my mother is a real pillar, my rock in my life. She helped me with a lot. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for my mother, I don't know where I would be. You know what I'm saying? She really shaped my mindset and my behavior as well. Because you know, as a kid and as an adult too, you always want to give Mom Dukes the world, man. You want to provide for her because of the way she loves you and the way everything that she does for you. So I hear you talk highly of your mother, man. What aspects, like, how did seeing your mother go through those things affect you and the way that you are today?
So you never really like kind of understand, like I was saying, when you were a kid, but once I had that time away for real, like I knew my mom was teaching me all the right things. Like I kind of appreciated that as well, and also just, you know, seeing that up close is like, dang, like, you know, you want to definitely change the situation going on, and then you just understand like what you got to do for real, and like just all them type things. But I really didn't never get to have them type thoughts, like thinking it on my own, until like, you know, I became on my own and homeless and stuff like that, and that's when I kind of started feeling more appreciated for my mom. But
so exactly what age did you realize, man, this is a bad situation that we're in?
So I was like, you know, I got 5 siblings, so, you know, 6 of us. So I want to say about like 11, 12, because I was still like, you know, that was that phase in me from a kid to, you know, almost down there a teenager. So just having to, you know, overwatch my siblings, and, you know, then you start understanding like, we wearing the same clothes to school every day. Like, these you know, these kids, they got, you know, new pairs of these and this and that. And he like, you know, I started talking to my mom, and then you just like, oh, I understand now, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you still like, man, we got to change this for real. So, I mean, I think I started, you know, learning that young, but I became way more aware of like the strength she had to have, you know, for all of us. And then the amount of work and discipline she also had to have, because I know she had her own wants and needs.
Right.
And, you know, my stepdad played a good big role in that, you know, me not having my dad. Once I found out that I didn't know my dad, that was kind of different for me, for real, because I didn't find that out until maybe like, you know, like 8, 9, you know what I'm saying? Just understand that I have a different dad and that I never seen him. So it was just kind of.
So when you say you didn't have a dad, did your dad pass away, or
Nah, he it was kind of like a drug thing. Like I heard like some stuff, like kind of things that wasn't his fault for real.
Right.
So, you know, he had and he's still alive. I just don't, you know too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
man, like,
so it's kind of a weird feeling. Like, how should I go about it? Like, it's just wondering like what type person he was. It's all the stuff I think about. For real.
Man, like, as we digging deep into your story, man, I just have a much more respect and uplifting of you, man, because like the due diligence in your like I say, your discipline, man, your mindset, man. It's just, and that's what it takes to even get to that next level, man. Behind every great person, there's a great story, and a great person that motivated them. So, with that being said, who you think motivated you? Did you think the struggle itself motivated you? Your mother motivated you? Or, like, man, we just got to get out of this situation?
I would say I would say it was like steps for me because, first, as a kid, it just wanting to be, a better self, like, just amongst the team. Then it's like, oh, I'm seeing moms going through this, like, oh, now I got to really work hard to change all of our situation now. And then when I became on my own and homeless, it's like, now I really got something to grind for because now I'm fending for myself, like, every day, like, you know what I'm saying? And then just all that stuff tying into one, you just, like, I would say it is a blessing that, I was able to tame all those emotions and, like, have the same discipline every day to go after the same thing for real. So definitely, thankful of God for real. And that's another thing. My mom was always, I feel like, what should I say, like, God-fearing. Like, we was Christians at first, then Muslims, and, just always around, like, something to with God, you know what I'm saying? So,
right. That's another thing
that played a factor.
That's another thing that plays a big factor in life, belief in God. And whatever y'all believe in, God is first in all things that we do, because without him, we are nothing. But you said something that I want to touch on. When you say you became homeless by yourself, what do you mean by that? So you was literally by yourself out there?
Yeah, so
how did that come about?
It was like a situation that, I've been forgave and all that stuff, but it was kind of like, I just brought up the religion thing, I think we was either Muslims or just into a new religion at the time, and it was conflicting with me playing, in games, in high school games on Fridays or Saturdays or something like that, and I was basically given like an ultimatum to choose between the sort,
Wow.
by like my mom and my stepdad. So it was like, I mean, I would kind of say it was 50-50 on, on fault, but I basically chose to, like, they said if I'm going to be in the house, like, if I'm going to live here, then, I got to quit football at least for some time or something like that. But I was basically, I didn't really kind of, but I didn't get it because they basically got me into football for real, me being outside to, the streets lights cut on and just standing after them extra hours after practice when I was little just to, and then to hear that, I was like kind of confused because I'm like, I do this for,
right,
to help all of it. Like, I really believe that I'm gonna get there for real. So at the time, it was like, yeah, maybe they can't see it. So I wound up leaving home for real, and just all the strength that I wanted to still play football and chase. And that was at the age of 14 for real. And
that brings even more light to the fact that if you would have made, that was like literally
the changing point.
Right, and it's crazy because it's coming to me and it's really, your story is like unfolding to me. Whereas though you have these points in your life where you can either give up, turn around, or make the wrong decision, and it would affect literally your situation and the situation of your family.
Because I feel like that one choice might have affected my mentality, my future, like talking as of now, my career, and just like, cause that's my mom for real. I could easily be like, yeah, mom, you right, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Woo-woo, but I just like, man, she gonna understand, like, you know what I'm saying? She got to, like, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's even giving me chills right now because I just knew what type time I had to be on, like, you know what I'm saying? I knew I had to go harder. I knew that I was gonna have to, be hungry some nights, sleep here and there, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I was able to stay at like a few of my friends' houses, but it wasn't too long, because they got moms too.
Right.
So, they gonna catch on. So it was definitely a little battle for real. I mean, it's deeper than that, but
And that just shows the character of man, like making that decision and having to go through those hurdles and those obstacles. And I feel like if you didn't go through that situation that God put you in, because God does everything for a reason.
For a reason.
So he put you through that fire to actually mold you into becoming this person where though when you get to that point, you know the significance of
what I gotta do,
what you gotta do, and how you gotta stand there. Because it's different from somebody who had to come from the bottom, climb their way up to the top. There's somebody that parents was already there and they just that's smooth sailing because they can easily fall. They gonna fall harder.
Yeah, they not appreciative of. Because I'm very appreciative of what I had to go through. Like, even though it may sound insane, like, you know what I'm saying, some of the stuff. But I'm very appreciative because I know, like, when I get into this situation, my mentality is different from somebody that never seen it before.
Right.
Or never could even, like, dream of going through that. So they might hit them harder than me. I might be like, okay, now it's time, you know what I'm saying?
Your boots up.
So, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I feel like I'm appreciative for, you know, just the situation, God and everything. Like, I told my mom, I don't think, like, I think maybe a year ago I was telling my mom, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really had to talk yet, but I was like, you know, like, basically, you see, like, you know, what I was trying to do. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm never really the type that rub in people's face because at the end of the day, I knew, like, you know, God had a plan for everything, for real. Like, I still, you know, I didn't leave home and forget God. Like, I still kept him first. I'm just like, man, like, be with me, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and that, man.
So everything kind of tied together.
Everything came together, and it's still coming together for you, man. And man, I just appreciate your story a lot, man. I really do, because it just shows, man, that with dedication, like, you got to be determined and have focus, tunnel vision. And let's get into this, right? Because you said something before. You was homeless in school, wearing the same clothes. Let's say this, right? How was your mental state? How was your mental? Because I didn't know. And I didn't treat you no differently from anyone else.
Now I'm saying, you know, you was this, you know.
So how did that,
guy, you know
how was your mindset though? Like what was your thought process and your, like,
I kind of, you know, I knew that I had to, you know, be trouble free for one, because, you know, I have nobody to back me up. If I was to, then I know it's definitely done. I knew, like, school itself was gonna be a toll for real, because, you know, not eating at night. You know, I gotta come to school. I had to be like one of the first ones there. To, like, you know, the school got showers, so I had to shower in that joint. And, you know, I'm low key the first one there, and just, like, having to explain to teachers, like, you know, like, I'm falling asleep because I ain't getting no sleep last night. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
And just being able to still keep school a priority, because I still had to go to, like, I'm like, I got to go to college. Like, I got to go to college to be able to play football, continue. So I'm like, you know, as long as I get a C, like, you know, people think, like, I was like average student, but, like, I feel like if I'd have had, you know, certain resources, I probably could have pulled off, so, you know, B's or something like that, you know, but it just, you know, it didn't pan out like that, you know. I had a cool SAT score, used it. I ended my senior year with 5 interceptions, which basically gave me the push, the edge I need to, you know, get that small scholarship to go to D2 college. So,
and
I mean, you know, and I made friends in high school, you know. I mean, wasn't really explaining, you know, because to me, like, I was like, nah, you know, can't go around telling people I don't got nowhere to go. Like, at the time, you just like, man, maybe they're thinking me different. And I was thinking of it like that, but, you know, thinking back, like, you know, it really wasn't a matter for real, you know, but.
And that's, dang, bro, your story is like almost teared up right here, man, because it just, and it's like all coming together for me, because I pay attention to detail. Like, the things that most people think I'm not paying attention to, I'm paying attention to. And I got a very clear long-term memory. Like, my memories play back in my head as like a movie.
Yeah.
So every moment I had with you, or every conversation that we had, or every time I was around you, or every time I can remember that you was in my vision, I remember those times. And I remember, like I said, that quote that you said. I remember the conversations we had, the things we had conversations about. And it's when you say, that's why a lot of things about the teaching thing too as well, because it's very important that these teachers out here in these classrooms, in these schools, learn and understand
their
students because they don't understand that what these students are going home to.
Yeah, and some teachers kind of I guess kind of understood because I still didn't really give no full story. You know, I didn't know what type things will, you know, transpire if I told them that now, you know, I'm in an investigation and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even 18 yet. I'm young. I'm youngest, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like some teachers I had to bucket out on, like, oh, I really got locked in. Like, for some teachers, you know, they'll let me take a little 20-minute nap, and as long as I get the late work in, you know what I'm saying? But that's just how it was, for real. Like, I know lunchtime, I was going into the weight room every lunchtime just to, you know, I heard that I had to get stronger. Like, you know, being in there early and at lunchtime, just off, you know, like, it'd be some periods I was, you know, sleeping in the weight room.
Right.
Just all that, you know, tying together, like.
That's another thing I remember you always being in the weight room. This man was in the weight room all the time. I see him because I'm skipping class. So I'm seeing him, I'm walking through that hall. The way the weight room was, it was like through this hallway that nobody really comes down at time in school. So I'm just walking, I just hear weights clacking. I'm looking at, oh, that's Delonte. Like, it got so points of like, oh, there's Delonte in there. They don't even need to worry about it. We in the other room next to it, popping the door, doing stuff we not supposed to do. He in there working out, doing what he's supposed to do. So I commend you on that. And I remember one fond memory I got of you, bro. I don't know if you remember. We went to, this the one trip that they let me on. We went to college trips.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I think we was in, what was that, Virginia?
It was West Virginia?
West Virginia. I just remember the focus and like I can literally remember like your eyes lighting up when we walked and we did the field thing, and like you was like, man, and to me it seemed like you was like, I could do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be here one day. Mm-hmm. And like you were just taking in the scenery, the placement, and I'm just seeing you and I'm looking at everybody around me. That's why I said I got a photogenic memory. I'm just remember everybody around me, energy at the time, and my energy was just like, I'm not going to college. My energy was just down, so I'm just focusing on everybody else and what they doing. So I seen that, and now it's even more bright into me now that like the focus and because it was like
it was almost like me like just seeing what it was for real. And once I really got there, it was like. It was, you know, the campus is big, the stadium is big, like, you know what I'm saying? Just the way I was really planning on, like, you know, how my day is going to go, like, you know what I'm saying? How am I going to fit this in the schedule? Like, that's really what I was thinking when I went there.
How was the transition from high school to college? Like, as far as your situation you know, your situation of being homeless in high school to actually being in a dorm in college. How was that?
It was good for me because I was still, like, I wouldn't come home sometimes, well, until I met, you know, one of my teammates. His name was Chris, sophomore year. So that made it about a total 6 years I was homeless, for real. But when I first got to Glenville, you know, I was sixth string on the depth chart. But, I mean, I really didn't see none of, you know, the sixth string or nothing like that. I knew how hard I worked. I know how hard I was going to work, and I feel like that's what it mapped out to, like, because, you know, my freshman year, like, mid-season, I earned a starting role.
Right.
You know, so now it's about getting a feel of the timing and everything, the strength and speed of other players, and, you know, was kind of doing, like, you know, my own workouts 2 times a day. Like, you know, for anybody like that don't know Glenville, it's like in the middle of nowhere. Right. You just see mountains and trees.
I remember when you first was going there, I'm like, bro, he's going to I literally said, bro, I'm going to the middle of nowhere. But I kept following your story. Mm-hmm. You might not notice, but I followed as soon as we graduated, right? Because me graduating was hard enough. So it was certain people that in our graduation class that I kept up on. Mm-hmm. Which was you, my man Nardo, just the real people. I felt like that was real genuine to me. And as I'm following your story, I said, man, see, nobody knew this. I might seem outgoing, but a lot of the real things I keep to myself. Because a lot of people won't understand your thought process. Yeah. And you could be so real that you seem fake, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I'm like, man, I'm going to follow this guy because he got ever since you told me, you got a place to go, people to see. I'm like, man, this guy, he got like it was something about you, bro, that just that I was just inspired about, and to this day you inspire me. And I tell you that a lot, and I'm not afraid to tell you that you motivate me to continue to do what I'm doing. And your story even motivate even more today to keep going.
A lot of people don't know them. My scholarship to Glenville was like $250. College like thousands. So basically, they was just offering me to walk on, but I just knew that small opportunity is all I needed.
All you needed. That's
because
awesome.
I knew what I was capable of. Like even through Dunbar, like my Dunbar years, I missed a couple seasons just because. I missed like maybe one key season. It was sophomore year. It was sophomore year that I missed because of things transpiring.
Right.
Me almost failing that year, and a lot of people thought, "Oh, like damn, like Hood not locked in." Like what I'm saying, it's really behind the scenes things going on. So
they don't see or understand.
I was able to play junior year, but I had a small little minor injury that was not disabling me like to be my full self. But I still performed. But senior year is when I got fully healthy, and I was able to do whatever I was capable to do.
Man, I remember that time you caught that 90-yard interception for the touchdown slam. I was going crazy. I was like, oh, he looking sweet. Let's go. Like, you always do. Like, if they throw it Hood way, the whole school knew that. If they throw it your way, that's going the other way. Nah, for real. Because, like, bro, your hops, like, you just going to get it. Mm-hmm. It's like your story plays out the way you play. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say the football is the opportunity, and the quarterback, that just for instance, is like God, and he's throwing you that opportunity your way.
Yeah, maximize.
And you maximize your opportunity, and the person that's the wide receiver is the obstacle. And you just jumping over every obstacle that come your way, and you trying to get that opportunity.
Exactly.
And every chance you get, you going to go get it. And that's the thing, man. I see it in you, man. That's why, bro. This only the beginning for you, man. And I see that because, like, bro, your determination, man, and even through adversity, man, you've been through it. So you're like, man, I just tighten up my shoes and go harder.
Mm-hmm. That's literally the mentality that you're supposed to have, but I know for sure that I have, because a lot of the time it's just God testing you. Like, all right, let me see what he do. Like he asked for prayer and prayed for this. So I'm just going, let's see if he prepared for this. Yeah, let's see what he do. And it just showing like, okay, he battle tested now. He can, now you can be rewarded. Right. So a lot of times that's literally how the process goes, and that's kind of how, you go through a lot of things enough. It's like, okay, another test. You know what I'm saying? Don't even get all riled up.
And disappointed. Yeah. And that's my biggest thing, right? Because, I try to do so much.
And some stuff might hit you harder, though. But it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? You still got to have that bounce back factor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Got to always get back.
But, Glenville, I would say that was really my stay down year. Because I was only there for 2 years when I gravitated towards, my teammate friend now, Chris. We started doing workouts together. Like, he was strong in the weight room. I was fast on the field, and we were just, like, almost teaching each other.
Sharpening each other.
You know what I'm saying? So I was getting them right on the field. Like, I had drills for the field, feet work, speed, and he had insane workouts. Like, we did insane workouts. Like, I'm jogging to practice with weights, you know what I'm saying, in the morning. Sun not even up. You know what I'm saying? He'll tell you that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to get out 2 miles in, like, just to be in that type of shape, because we wanted to be able to last the whole game. And, you know what I'm saying, we in the weight room for fun, like, just even after the workout, we just in the weight room. Like,
what you benching now? Because I used to walk, when I tell you, I used to walk past, there used to be some weights on that thing. What you benching now? Because you put on weight, but muscle weight.
Yeah, because now I focus on explosiveness, so I really couldn't give you an exact number, but it's probably something higher than it's probably something higher than 345 or something like that. So we'll be talking about, but I'm really shifting the focus on like what's going to excel me, and I know explosiveness is one of the things. But yeah, we definitely feed off each other for real. And, even Brumman, he went to Glenville. Right. We just
shout out to Brumman, man. I miss that man, Slim.
We was all with each other for real, and just like as long as we was there, we made the most of it. Because if you tell a random person to go to Glenville from here, I'm like, what the hell? Like we had like I don't even know if you know, but like in college you have like upcoming freshmen that's gonna come to the school. They come up there, you know, scout the school out, see how it is. And I'm just telling dudes like, it's not what you think it is. Like we made it what it was for real.
Right.
Because you know, you look around like there's nothing to do. All you got is school. You know what I'm saying? You got the calf and you got football. So it's really not the college experience you're gonna experience.
Do you feel like that also kept you focused? The fact that it was nothing else but workout, get it right. Now you got tunnel vision because it's literally nothing else.
Yeah, because, I mean, I feel like that was another lesson I was coming out. I'm realizing, like, every day. Like, I mean, every day I'm in my room. And another thing, I ain't bring a TV to school, too, because I was just that locked in. I'm like, only thing I need to go down there for is football. Like, these people back home that I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? So, the only thing, I don't need to bring a video game or nothing, like, no TV. Like, every day I wake up, like, you know, it's just this little stuff I was disciplining myself on. Like, I never smoked or drink. You know what I'm saying? Just, I mean, a lot of that came from, you know, what I heard from my father, you know, but it triggered down to just me wanting to be in shape and disciplining myself. So
let's get in. I heard you talking about your friend. What's his name again? Your teammate?
Christopher.
Yeah, let's get into that. So what role did he play in, like you said, I heard you saying y'all was sharpening each other's skills up, but I also heard you, like, you gravitated towards each other. How did that friendship keep you stable in your mind right?
So, you know, you already know that I went down there with Brahman, so we was together for real, you know, both from DC. And we had found out, like, that he's from DC too.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying, we first, you know, football players, you know, just having that free time, being around each other. Found out, like, you know, he was a cool dude. Like, he had the same goals and aspirations as us. Like,
right. So let's get into the actual football world. So, tell the people what position did you play?
I play corner, defensive back, if you want to, you know, full term. But I've been playing that position since I first started. Like, it's like, I was like, you know, go to free safety, and I just been playing stuff like that for my whole life.
So, what is it about the position that you feel like you excel at the most? Or like,
for me, it's, you know, my speed and ability to track the ball. I feel like those are two things that stand out. Not making other things, you know, trying to bring other things into the key factor of my play, but those are two things for you definitely going to see. So you're going to see, you know, he's moving.
So what rating should they give you on Madden?
my rating right now on Madden is kind of slump for real. But I at least say by next season or after next season, it should be like a 73, 74. I'm being realistic. Mm-hmm. You know how Madden is. My rating now probably like 60, 63.
Man had that ball hawk ability on that jump shot. He be going to get that. He's fired. He on it. You know? So let's talk about from college now to the NFL. How does it feel, bro? Like, give me that feeling, bro, I know you probably cried, bro.
It's a funny thing, though, because I didn't cry. Because I was like, man, all leading up, I'm like, I'm going to cry, man. I'm going to cry. Because I did everything I was supposed to do. Like, I found a good agent that really was a good person. Like, I just feel like everything was just God's doing. Like, I found him. He had me training in basically an isolated facility, you know, 5 other players. Some places you're going to go is going to be 20, 30, not a lot of hands-on.
Right.
So it was a lot of hands-on for me. So I was able to work on my 40. I was able to work on my strength. We had mental training just for my mental. And
tell the people what was your 40 too, by the way. Tell them people what was your 40.
429. So the thing about that is, we didn't know where I was gonna do my pro day from. All he told me was to give 100% every day.
Right.
But I was telling him, like, that's the least of your worries. Like, I already do that.
Right. Like,
so just have me in a place that's going, you know, I'm gonna take everything in, you know what I'm saying, and I'm gonna make most of it. So I'm training in Florida, Jacksonville, and I feel myself literally getting better every day. Like, I feel myself getting faster because I feel like people already know me as fast.
Right.
So just the little things I didn't know that he was putting me on to down there, like all the trainers, and strength wise, and then we found out I'm running at my pro day gonna be at a D1, like, so I knew for sure, like, oh yeah, every scout is gonna be there times two.
Time to lace up them boots for
so,
real.
So like 65 scouts were there, come time I got mean jitters, like I'm just like I feel like that's the first time in my life I'm like, what I'm saying, like I'm really like not nervous, but I'm hella anxious. Right. So I mean, I just had to calm down, and left there with the fastest 40 for real. So it's like that's kind of why they don't want small school guys. I feel like that's what people was telling me, to come run at big time schools, because it's like it's always some, like, not always, but half the time it's somebody that's going to outshine their guys.
Right.
And I think that that's another blessing for real, that I was able to go there and outshine those guys.
Right.
Because it led to a lot of scouts on my trail for real. So that's kind of how that type thing was, just the process for real.
So walk me through the day that you knew you was going to be playing for an NFL team.
So I'm pretty sure around like draft time. It's coming up, but this year, but last year, I was kind of already knowing where my placement was going to be.
Right.
Like I knew I wasn't going to be no big time first guy because of the school I came from.
Right.
And for those of you who don't know, like, all that stuff really matters for real. Like, the school you go to, who you know what I'm saying, what stats you had, because I knew my second year at Glenville, I went All-American, 9 picks. That's kind of what carried me for real.
Right.
And they was able to view that. So, the draft is 3 days. I knew for sure, like, day 3 that I was going somewhere for real.
See, I ain't know the draft was 2 days. I didn't know that.
So I wasn't a pick, but I was definitely on the phone with a coach for like the last 30 picks. Like, we either going to get you or we're going to sign you right after the draft. Right. So it was like almost like it was kind of surreal, but I didn't cry because I'm like, it's still work to do because I'm not, I'm not set yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I still have some proving, but it was definitely, I definitely did a lot of praying and thinking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I knew still, like, even still now, like, it's still going to be work to do for real. Because I got there, but now I got to have a plan for how I'm going to excel.
That's stated. Because
it's definitely a different
first
level.
hard step is getting there. Mm-hmm. Now the hardest step is staying there. So, man, do you just sit sometimes and just think about how your life is going right now?
Yeah, I definitely do.
Like,
I just think, like, because I mean, I know you go through your pictures and just look like this was what he was for real. And a lot of times, I find myself doing that. I'm like, man, I remember that. I wanted to get here, and I said I was gonna get here, and now I'm here for real. So I always kind of be like, what I'm saying, my younger self would be very proud.
You'll be so happy that you ain't give up. Like, really, like...
And I kind of think about how, like, situations playing out. Like, if I never did this, or if I never did this.
I made that decision.
And I just kind of think, like, yeah, everything really has a reason, which kind of give you a different aspect on life because, like, you really can't, like, even though something went bad right there, like, something good is right around the corner.
If you keep going.
If you keep going, like, you can't, like, I don't know if you ever seen that picture where it's this man doing the mine.
Yeah.
And it's hella Jews. But he stopped with, like, maybe this much dirt to go.
Right. I seen that.
Somebody, and he walking away, but then somebody is at the bottom, and he cracked through because, you know what I'm saying?
Kept going, perseverance.
So that's really, like, the type mental you got to have for real. And I don't know how to stress that enough for real because it's only something you experience. It's not nothing that it's like belief and faith and all that.
Man.
And just, I know I didn't, I had some help along the way for real because I couldn't say I do all this by myself. Even though it took myself to lock in, I definitely had, some help along the way.
Without getting too deep and too personal, how big was your smile when you got that first check? How big was
crazy,
that
man.
When you see them cars, and you like, what?
Yeah, definitely. It would make you, it even motivates you even more though, because it's like, man, I gotta get
man.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't stop here, bro. Like,
Nah, for real, Slim. Like, hey, man, like, that is amazing, man. You got one of the most unique stories. And it's like...
And I just think a lot of times, because I'm from here for real, a lot of people, you know, you already know, a lot of people don't make it in whatever career they in from here, because there's a lot of, like, hate going on for real. So I just try to be a lot, like, I always wanted to be different, like, in a good way, though. Like,
right.
Just, you know what I'm saying, outside of the trends and everything that people hear from here, or that even people from here already know about people.
Right.
I just be like, man, you know, because I got out and I seen, like, granted, I only went 2 places for traveling yet, because, you know, I just got to where I want to be, but just playing football for so long and be able to travel and meet different people and players and people, period, like, it's a whole world out there for real. And I just feel like people that just want to stay where they at is kind of setting themselves up for, like, failure.
Because, like, that's what
you never get to see, like, oh, I could be this person and I could do this, or I could even do multiple things as long
so much more to life than just DC.
So that's kind of how I think about it. And, you know, you might have some people from Maryland or Virginia for real, but not a lot of people from actually here.
Yeah.
So that's another big inspiration for me, you know, because I'm actually from here.
Right. And that's another thing that glad you said that, to touch on that. It's a lot of people that's from this inner city that has talent. Mm-hmm. I say has as in because they still do, because it's a God-given gift. But they choose being too tough, to want to be too gangster and too macho, or always want to be around that same environment than to accept the gift that God gave them. And like you did, put the struggle on your main mindset and have that tunnel vision to excel in life. Because we have basketball players in high school, man, that even in my generation, like it happens in every generation, you have these guys who have this great abundance of talent, got the whole city coming to their games, and everybody, the biggest colleges in the country is just on you and they want you, but your mindset and your mentality can't get out the trenches. And what happens is that brings us down as a people, because the more if you make, like, bro, your story going to inspire so many younger kids, bro.
Because I'm really, like, I'm from everything that they, you know.
Right, and they story, like, they like, Mom, that's me. Mm-hmm. I can do that. I can be that. And it's a pathway that you lit up. That's like, bro, if you walking through the darkness, bro, and then every step you take that's the right step, it lights up a pathway that somebody else can find. But if you have this talent and you have this talent and this ability to bring your family out of poverty, and you choose to allow the darkness to consume you when you're supposed to be lighting the pathway for others behind you, you hinder not only yourself but your community at the same time. Because who is funding these recreation centers, or who is funding your community that you came from if you can't come out of that and be that person for them? You understand what I'm saying?
And that's another thing. I'm glad you hit on that. Like, that's kind of some, like, just funding in different places and just going to talk at different places. Something like that I always wanted to do, because not even just to talk about, you know, my story, because, you know, I mean, if I do, but it's kind of just to help people that was like me, because I wish that when I was younger that somebody was able to fund for me and get me the things I need for real. So you just kind of want to be that person and help these people, because you just already know how I feel. Like, even the homeless, like, I see a homeless person, I can't not get them a little, like, because, you know, I wish when I was trying to just get some graham crackers, like, I wish I had, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just little stuff like that I'm just real appreciative of, and I know, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm always going to have that mentality for it.
And that's what separates men from boys, because you allow yourself, and I feel like you allowed yourself to succeed, bro. Mm-hmm. You allowed yourself to succeed, and I feel like God helped you a lot, because you was already standoffish, not because probably you wanted to, but that's what it was just natural for you. So now that helps you in the long run, because now it's like, who am I like a lot of people feel like, oh, I gotta help this person, this person, this person. But in your situation, it's like all I need to take care of is my family, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, but it's not the selfish mindset of who helped me. I ain't helping nobody. It's just my situation shaped me into this person. I gotta get this together first because I cannot go back to where I came, and I will do everything in my power to never go back to that same predicament that I was in before. And that will take you a long way because you understand that, and you understand and you appreciate those checks that you get, and you put them in the right place, and you doing the right things with them. How does it feel to be able to go wherever you want at any given time right now? I know you ain't get the max yet. It ain't on the way yet. It's on the way though. But how does it feel to be able to be a little more stable than what you was? So though, if you wanted to go buy something right now, you could do it. How does that feel now, coming from not being able to even eat at night? How does that feel?
Like I'm saying, like it's just real appreciative for real. It's like it just kind of just, I don't know. It's a certain peace that it bring to me for real, because it's almost like a ex-military, person. Like all his life, I mean, he went in as a 17-year-old, he retiring at 45. So basically, all his life, all he knew was war.
Right.
Having to go to battle every day, wake up at this time early, go to sleep late, having to, that same process, and then just war on top of that, like it's just like, and then now he gets to travel to Dubai or something like that, just to clear his mind.
Live in his league.
That's kind of how I feel like I am for real. Like even though I still know there's more to achieve and do. Like I just feel like
it's a weight off
having
your shoulder.
to fend for myself that young. I just feel like blessed and appreciative that I was able to even achieve the things I did, and just I'm thankful for my mom teaching me right from wrong, because knowing this area, it's easy to fall in like different narratives and do different things, and I just feel like I'm glad it all tied together and to go on the right path, like what I'm saying. So,
who in the NFL have you met that you was not let's not say fanboying, but let's say very excited to meet, but you couldn't really too much show it?
The first person that, well, I ain't gonna say the first. Well, I'm gonna say because I was a Seahawks fan when I was young.
Right.
So the first person was Russell Wilson. I ain't gonna lie. I was even telling him while we was talking, like, man, I was a big fan when I was young. Like I was really a fan. Like I really was having, like, how you in school you had them heavy discussions about who the better team, who gonna win. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just remember that. Like yeah, I'm just telling him, like, and then even when he's talking, I'm like, man, this is Russell Wilson. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
It's
but
soccer.
it's just like, you don't want a fanboy, because we teammates now.
Right.
And then the second person was Richard Sherman. That's big because he a corner for real. Yeah. And I was a corner. Like I remember, like, just wanting to have as much success as he did, and just watching his highlights every day before practice in high school, like just to try to.
Yeah, I used to watch his highlights too. Like I was playing corner.
Yeah, so
I love Richard Sherman.
He was just all like humble, collective. Like I just couldn't stop telling him, like, man, like I was a big fan. Like but it's just like seeing them type of people every day, like people that we see on TV, just balling out, and just seeing them in person. It's like, yeah, they regular people, but they still put in the work to be there. So you just understand, like,
how does that?
It's kind of like a blueprint for you,
right? How does that affect your grind and seeing them that, like you said, we was kids and we used to watch them on TV, and you want to, like, man, this dude, he's one of the best in the world. Now it's like you guys are sort of kind of like you on that level now, and now it's all up to you how big you become. Mm-hmm. So how does that feel? Like literally, like, they say idols become rivals, but your I don't want to say they was your idols, but those are your teammates. Yeah. You're actually on an NFL team, bro. Like I don't like. I feel like, see, sometimes our mind it try to deflate the current situation that you in, because it's too unrealistic. Like it was a study that came out. That's why a lot of rappers smoke and get high because where they came from as well, and they blew up so fast. Yeah. Where though it's a shocker to how fast they live and how much money they get and how much that like to nothing to something that fast.
I would say for me, it's not even like in that aspect. It's kind of because like I still have the mentality that I'm just trying to be better.
Right.
And I know once I achieve or get to that, like it's always every time I get to a big step, I knew that I can't go back.
Right.
So it's like I can't get too complacent or too high on my horse.
Right.
Like I still like, you know what I'm saying? Like I met him and I did this and I achieved this and everybody's excited clapping. But I can't, I have to just say my thanks and keep going. Like, because I have nothing to fall back on, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I catch myself sometimes like, man, I really have, I really achieved this or made it here. So, but it's cool to have them times, but you definitely don't want to get high on your horse if you plan to go higher. It's like LeBron achieving that most points scored, that a couple weeks ago. I'm pretty sure he had a certain level, like when he was from a rookie up until then, like he just kept knowing that he had to
continue to achieve.
You know what I'm saying? And he probably still has things that on his bucket list, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's about
still been on that level. Having that mindset to
like
keep
once
going.
you reach another level, you have to prepare for the level you're on, and then you have to go get the next one. So,
and that's another reason why, bro. Dang, bro, you are very inspiring, bro. The words that you speak, you don't even understand, bro. Like as you're talking, bro, you're motivating me more. That you can't be too happy. You gotta always have that go-getter mindset. And that's what separates a lot of people, too, because a lot of people will be, oh, I did this, and I'm going to just post it on Instagram just to make it seem like I'm bigger to those people.
Yeah, and then they cool it for 4 months. And now you kind of back in the same space.
In the same space without elevating.
So it's like a kind of, you gotta definitely lock in and grind for real. It's not
all times.
You know what I'm saying? Like even, if you're an influencer on social media for real, it's cool to, do what you do. But as long as you know that I'm not faking it. Right. I'm really going to get it. You know what I'm saying? It's all
after
about,
I post this post, I'm still
doing
doing
what I'm saying? I might do something for 2 weeks and then post what I did last week, but I'm on
nothing left.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of time I feel like people got to be on. Like you can't just do stuff for other people. You got to do it for yourself first. Make sure you progressing. And then, it's cool to let other people know, for real. Then again, I've been on both sides. Like, I've been in points where, I'm trying to show people that I'm progressing. And then there's other points where I'm like, nah, I'm just about to lock in for half a year. And then, I'll post a picture then, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I got to lock in. Like, this current stage requires everything I got. And I can't let, certain distractions get to me, and that's you kind of have to, it's cool for both sides, but however your mental works.
And man, like the words you speak are very powerful because I'm just trying to, man, the way that you think, bro, your thought process, your life evaluation, your sense of understanding your life and your issues and your situation and the way you just maneuver, and like, bro, God really had his hands on you, and you are literally rags to soon to be riches, bro. Like, and then you so humble and you speak so meek about yourself and about your surroundings, and that's and that's gonna bring you far because God recognized that. And man, I can't wait to see your journey from now on, bro. Like,
I be watching The Pursuit of Happiness a lot, for real. I don't know if you ever seen it.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a kid, but just, that being Will Smith's, how he came up, I just feel like attached to that a little bit, just because, you see the brief times where he had to sleep in the bathroom.
Right.
And he was evicted. Like, I remember being evicted with my mom and sleeping in, the conversion van. And I remember the time where you know, like I was speaking on, just me being on my own, homeless on the street.
Right.
So just being in both of those situations, I just like, yeah, you know, you gotta have something that you, it's like tunnel vision. You gotta have something you focused on, and can't let none of the distractions get to you for real.
Man, that's just 50. An hour is just amazing, an amazing story. I'm speechless, bro. Like, I knew this was gonna be a great segment, great episode, and I knew I had a lot of questions, bro. Ever since I seen that little segment you guys did with the video. Speaking of video, fun fact: Delonte Hood was one of my first actors for when I used to want to shoot videos. I might put the clip in here. This man, he's a great football player, but he's not such a good actor. If he go act, bro, you gonna be in some commercials in the future. You need to take acting classes,
Bro.
I told him to cry. He laughed so hard in the video, bro. He laughed so hard. He posted the video was his girlfriend left him because he was cheating, so she went to Delonte. So I'm like, Delonte, when he come over here, just act bad, cause I'm like. Delonte started laughing. I'm like, bro.
That's probably a blooper, bro. You can think of that.
I still posted it. I said, I'm gonna post it. It's still on YouTube to this day. Hilarious. I might put the clip in it and show them, bro. You was crying, laughing, bro. And that just shows, man. And then I ain't gonna lie, like, a lot of people don't know. Back then, I never had like a lot of help either and stuff that I was trying to do. But that never stop me from trying. Like I used to, like you probably know, I used to bring the tripod to school, my camera stuff. I used to just trying, like
locked into it,
right? And I was like, and I ain't gonna lie, I did ask a lot of people can they help me, and a lot of people was like, they wasn't, you know how they was, man. I ain't doing that. But I asked you was like, all right, just let me know. Let me know. Then I asked Cove, shout out to Cove. I don't know where he at, but shout out to Cove. My man was like that on basketball. He was like, just let me know. Like, it was just, like I said, it was just certain people, like certain things in certain situations and certain moments in life that I feel like I got a different sense of who was genuine on that. Yeah. Just because, and then not just saying because those people told me no. It's not that. It's deeper than that. It's like, I just felt, it just feel different, if it makes sense. It feel genuine. It feel like I'm not just doing this. I'm going to just do it because, man, look, he trying to do something. Yeah. And at that time, like, all right, just let me know. Like, that's how he said it. All right, just let me know. I said, I'm going to do it at lunch. All right, just let me know. Just let me know, man. And I just appreciate you, bro. Yeah. And I always want to appreciate you, not just for what you've done for me as far as just motivation, but appreciate you for being you, man. Always being you, always being Delonte, never changing, not allowing your success to even alter your mindset or your ego.
I feel like I'm a easy person to talk to, for real. Also, I mean, not even because I have the backstory. I just feel like, well, mainly because of that, but you know, sometimes I feel like not a lot of people, like you said, can think like certain people. Like I feel like my mind is a different way. So sometimes I feel like, you know, I could be on the alone side, but people will never tell because I'm always, you know, I'm ready to smile, laugh, you know what I'm saying? Right. But, you know.
One of the last questions I want to ask you, and this is a very important question, based on the trajectory that you're going in as far as your career and your lifestyle. How do you, and I remember I told you this in the DM, you probably remember, how do you depict on the real versus the fake? Even though the way you came up and how you was in school in general, you can kind of, I know you probably could kind of see, because you like, this person wasn't talking to me back then. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden they want to come, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. But personally, how do you feel about that, and how do you depict the real from the fake?
Well, now that I kind of, you know, was a rookie going into my second year, and comparing that to times where I was basically, you know, nobody for real. I feel like it's the conversations you have with people, because I mean, you gotta give people a chance if you want to see if they right or not. Like, you know, you see what they, you know, if they want to, you know, what type of time they want to spend with you, or even do things with you, or if it's like real genuine actions, and not just stuff to make it seem like, you know, we we showing people we doing this and this and this. So it's really just the actions for real. It's really no like, and it also depends on who you are. Like if y'all enjoy doing the same things, or if they can somehow adjust to you, or if you feel like you adjust to them, I feel like that's when you can feel somebody real, like, or like, you know what I'm saying, just tell, like, you know, somebody might need something a couple times. You might lend it out just because you have it, like, just you being a genuine person. But if you want to see if they real or not, you know, tell them, you know, I can't do it one time.
Right.
And then, you know, just see their reaction for real.
Right. That makes sense. And I remember, I think, I want to say it word for word. I said, what did I say, bro? I said, watch out for those just in case people.
Yeah.
Just in case you make it. Just in case.
Yeah, those people too, because a lot of times they saying just in case because maybe they was one of those people they ain't believe.
Right.
Or they don't want you to forget about them because they feel like it's like a guilt that they feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because maybe they, you know, was like, man, I counted them out and now look at them. Don't forget me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
they want to hold on to you.
Like a person that's, you know, that really believe or really with you, they don't gotta say don't forget me. They already know you're not gonna forget me because they already, y'all done, you know what I'm saying, y'all close, y'all done been through some things, y'all talking about some things, you know what I'm saying? And even if, you know, you didn't hit them up for them, and they still know it's really all true
right?
Love
because they're not looking for nothing from
right,
you.
Exactly. So that's another thing. So it's really like just trial and error because you gonna maybe put your trust in somebody that's not real. Right. You find out through trial and error, and you be like, okay, I need to watch out for them.
Right, and then you can watch out for those traits that person had, and then you can also analyze them.
And you be like, okay, he's one of them.
Right.
Or you know what I'm saying, you may be all closed off, and somebody real come, and you gotta be like, oh, this person kind of real, like, you know what I'm saying.
And that's the thing, man. That's
kind of the people you want around you. You want people around you that's either have the same aspirations, goals on you. Because a lot of the people, you know, I played football for a long time, as everybody know, for real. So even people I played football with, that's still around me. We was both chasing the same thing at one time,
right?
And we still talk and everything like that. Because they still have positive goals for themselves. Like I can't have nobody around me that just want to sit around, be complacent, and not have like chase their dream. Because I'm chasing. So if you're not chasing nothing, if I come around you, then I'm not gonna be, you know, I'm not gonna be on a chasing.
If I'm moving, you sitting down, you just an anchor.
So you holding me, you know. So I mean, and I met people that haven't played football, but you know, they still, you know, give me tips and things like that, or you know, they're chasing something. So as long as, you know, because that's the type mentality I have, I'm gonna go get, you know, I'm gonna go get this and this, and I'm not going to, you know, I'm not gonna be complacent.
Right.
So I mean, if you don't have them type traits, I just feel like we not gonna connect a lot.
Right. And that's my mindset because like I think I always do like life evaluation a lot because I think about stuff like this, man. Like, who would have thought, man, we'd be sitting here, man, arm to arm, man, podcast, you in the NFL, man. Who would have thought this, like, 8 years? And then we been out of high school, bro, for like 8 years, bro. Time is flying, bro.
Time is flying. I remember telling people, like, you know, been on the team, just, you know, always telling, like, teachers and coaches, like, oh, I'm going to be in the NFL, like.
I can't wait to see some teachers, bro.
I don't have no other plans, like, because they were like, you know, what you want to be? Like, even ever since a kid, like, I'm going to be in the NFL, like, and, oh, you need to have a backup plan? I remember all my backup plan talks because I was just like, I'm not really too worried about my plan B.
Right.
Like, I have to make it to the NFL. Like, you don't understand.
Like this, like you don't understand what I'm leaving this school. I have a situation that I have to control. I got things to do, like people to see, like real life.
Like, you don't understand. Like, I just telling, like, you know, like, even, like, I just feel like I was able to prove a lot of people either wrong or right. You know what I'm saying? Right. It was proven on both sides. So whether if they slightly disbelieved and and hoped for me, or if they fully believe, like, you know what I'm saying? So I was able to be like, you know, that's why I feel like a lot of people reacted to me going to an NFL team. It was like, dang, he really did it. And I remember, like, I'll talk on, like, you know, speaking on other people, like, they probably remember they talks. Like, people hit me up like, man, I know I ain't really think that you will be in the NFL, but I'm proud of you. But like, it's like not even having a negative mindset to it, because I knew that, you know, you tell, like, you go back to me having the, you know, same stuff on every day, and just me telling, like, the average person, like, missing a year, not having them games, and just telling the average person, like, oh yeah, I'm being in the field. They gonna be like, man,
look at you crazy.
like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, it's all about what you believe, or what you like, what you understand, and knowing yourself for real. That's why I'm big on, like, people knowing themselves, because it just goes along. Everything just goes a long way for real.
I say that a lot too, man. I really appreciate you, bro, for coming out and coming on, being my first guest, bro, on my podcast. Appreciate you telling your story, giving real insight, and getting deep into it, because you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You didn't have to, and I appreciate you.
I used to it used to get to me so, like, so good that I really, like, had to take a moment, like, you know.
Yeah.
Because but I come to a point where I'm like I did that mental training down in Florida, like, I was able to cope with and appreciate all that stuff. So I'm able to talk about it fluently now, you know what I'm saying? Because it's new challenges and battles that I'm going against, for real. So that's really, like, old stuff. Like,
Right.
It's greatly that, like, I had to really overcome that, but, you know.
Now it's time for the next time.
Yeah, so it's you know, I just wanted to say that.
Everything gets tougher.
I'm proud of myself for being able to talk about it fluently and stuff. I mean, I had a few little talks that I was able to practice with, so.
Yeah, and now it's next. Now you got it, and I feel like that's definitely gonna help you with the next mental battles you got, because it's only gonna get harder. Everybody says it's gonna get better. It's never gonna get better. It's
like,
never.
You gotta think, like, social media always gonna be there, especially for the pro level. Like, you see the stuff that be going, like, memes and just
one miscoverage. The whole
now you gotta
fan base under your you suck, you bum.
So it just
mess my ticket up.
Man.
I'm sorry, I did. I be that guy. You mess my ticket up. But yeah, like, but as you said, man, it's just next mental battle is always a level up in every aspect of life, mentally, physically, emotionally, and always, like, definitely physically, like, just getting yourself prepared for that next level. And like I said, man, I appreciate you, bro. And last thing, we're gonna end it with this. That young man out there, that he might not be homeless, and he might be homeless. For those in that different situations, tell him something right now. Give him a word of encouragement that you wish you would have had at that time in your life.
Being that I had to go through that and think of things on my own, for real, I just recommend that, you know, you are one of them people that, you know, just lock in, for real. Like, block out all the negative attention, you know. Don't get too down on yourself. Appreciate everything, and just try to have a positive mindset about everything while chasing whatever you chasing, you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you again, bro. Hey, man, it's your boy Zay, man. That's the Business Podcast. Appreciate y'all for listening. It's your boy Delonte Hood. Stay on the lookout for him. Roll Tide.